You're listening to a podcast from the Finnish Football Show.
Yes, it's the Finnish Football Show. Listener, I'm Mark Wiltshire and joined today by the one and only Mr. Keke Mülleri. Hi, Keke.
Terve, terve.
And we've got a packed show today. So we're going to start by talking about the recent games for the Finnish national team, the Huuhkajat. And then in the second half, we're going to look at the current state of play in the Veikkausliiga because it's getting exciting. And we've got guests. Those that are watching now can see a third face on the screen. And this is a long-standing friend of the show, Jussi Hartikainen from Suomen Maajoukkue Kannatajat, the Finnish national team supporters club, active board member there, and also works for Football Supporters Europe. So we're going to get Jussi's input in the games, into the recent games, what he saw of it, and some of the work that he's been doing with SMJK. So, and then a little bit later, another recurring guest, Sami Lindfors from KTP is going to come on and talk about his end of the Veikkausliiga. I think me and Jussi are keeping an eye on the top half, and Sami's been embroiled in the relegation battle. So we'll hear from him as well. But Keke, let's start. Let's start with the two Finland games, and firstly was Finland 2, Lithuania 1. Let's start, I suppose, by looking at the teams, or the Finland team anyway, for that game, and the selection the selection decisions that Jakob Friis is now making.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously previewed the games and had a bit of a chat about how these two games might go, and we did expect maybe a little bit more of a experimental lineup, or to try and bloody a few young guys for the maybe perceivable easier game of Lithuania at home. We'll talk about how that panned out, but yeah, the team lined up with Sinisalo in goals, Nikolai Alho, Laatenmäki, Ville Koski, Robert Ivanov, and Oliver Antman in like that 5-3 transition kind of bit. But that's what's shown across the back there. Then we had Adam Marhiev, Kaan Kairinen, and Leo Volta in midfield. And two up front, Jolle Pojanpalo and Benjamin Chelman.
Yeah, and you say experimental, but I'm starting to think now that it's not so much experimenting as the team is just, the squad is changing. It's evolving. It's
Indeed.
Less and less surprising each time we see these younger players coming through.
I mean, like it's the big one for me was not a scary decision, but Sinisalo in goal. I think most people would have gone with Jesse Joronen, but yeah, it's obviously very important for Sinisalo to get minutes in a competitive Huuhkajat fixture. So it wasn't an alarm bell situation, but yeah, maybe that's the one that sort of stuck out really. But yeah, we discussed that in the previews. Maybe Sinisalo would play this game, and as it transpired, it did work out that Joronen was back for the Netherlands game.
You're very close to the Finland supporters group, but you must be speaking to a lot of different Finnish fans. What is the overall feeling about how the squad is evolving?
It's a bit sort of a worrisome feeling there, like always with Finland fans. We're worrying about how we're going to do, and we're sort of, I guess, we're hoping that there'd be even some more rotation around, but I'm not sure if we got the depth of the squad for that. And yeah, personally, for the lineup, I'd have to agree with Keke here that the biggest surprise there was Sinisalo in goal, and well, honestly, that wasn't too big a surprise either. So, yeah, but regarding how supporter-wise the situation goes with the team, is that the Lithuania match was sort of how we were hoping it would be, I'd say, in general, and squad-wise. And yeah, then when Netherlands came along, the squad-wise, that was a bit of a disappointment there, how we started there. But yeah, if we can talk about that a bit later.
Yeah, and this was a game against Lithuania. Keke, we said, was they haven't won many games, but they've been difficult for their
Yeah,
opponents to beat, and we were hoping to get a win, but we weren't expecting it to be an easy win, and it panned out that way because Lithuania took the lead in the 25th minute. They broke down the left. The ball was driven across through a box full of Finnish defenders, and there was a hard low strike that Sinisalo got his hand to, but just couldn't keep out. And if you're being uber critical, you'd say maybe he should have, but you know, he didn't really make a mistake either. Um, and we had we had some opportunities in the first half to pull it back, and there was some nice sort of one and two touch passing later in the half that led to opportunities as well. So it wasn't negative, but we went in 1-0 down at half time.
yeah. I think if you'd have said before the match, oh, listen, at half time it's going to be Lithuania 1, Finland 0, you'd have gone bananas and wondered what the hell was going on. But I don't think, obviously, the scoreline's a little bit frightening, but I don't think there was too much to be too worried about. Before Lithuania scored, Finland was having opportunities. Oliver Antman was playing really well. I think he had a really great game overall, but even in that first half, he was trying to create. So yeah, it's. I think there was a point that and Jakob Friis even mentioned it, saying to go 1-0 down and for the Finland team to be able to turn that round into a victory. That I mean, I don't know the last time that has happened, but yeah, it was certainly a point worth referencing. And but yeah, even at half time with the score at 1-0, I don't think it was panic stations just yet. I think we'd seen enough to think that the boys out there on the pitch could turn it around.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. That it's not too common for Finland to win after going down in the first half and getting a win out of that. So it's been years since the last time that has happened. I don't have the stats in front of me, so I can't check, but somebody who's really interested in that can do the work there. But yeah, it's been years anyways.
And and the one player who really stood out during this game and has clearly caught my eye was Markiev, and he was also again really involved in this and really looks like making that one of those central midfield positions his own this year. And the team came out at half time and really kind of took the game to Lithuania and scored that equaliser early on. There was a cross from Alho on the right. It was cleared by a defender, cleared by a defender, but kind of hit players and pinballed around in the penalty box, off one of the other defenders' heads and fell at Benjamin Chelman's foot. But he was apparently in an offside position when he scored. But they went to a VAR check, and when the VAR check goes for you, that's when you like VAR. We'll come on to it later, but I'm very happy there wasn't VAR in the Veikkausliiga today in the SJK game, because that would have not gone for us. But it was just what we needed, wasn't it, to start that second half?
Yeah, I think the instructions may well have been from the coaching staff. Listen, you need to be a bit more aggressive. Take this game to the opposition. Stamp your authority on the game. And we said again in the preview. I've said it many times. There are no two bob teams in international football these days. We've seen the Faroe Islands turn over Czechia this week. Do you know what I mean? It's like there are no two bob teams. But having said that, as we said in the preview, Finland need to be, if we want to dine at the top table, Finland need to be beating Lithuania at home. That must have been the message at half time. Take the game to them, be a bit more aggressive. And yeah, we had to wait for that little VAR, but it was really the perfect start to the second half, getting back on level terms. And no surprise really that Chelman hit the target. He's been bashing them in for Hannover 96 in Bundesliga 2. So yeah.
And just another 7 minutes later came the winning goal, and this was two of the players we've mentioned already. Oliver Antman down the left wing and sort of jinking into the box on the left hand side, played the ball across to Markiev, and on the left hand side with his left foot kind of curled and floated the ball inside the right hand post, and it was always curling away from the keeper, but always going in. And the look on his face after, like he looked like he couldn't quite believe it, but was loving it, and it was great to see. Great winning goal, and really important securing those 3 points.
Yeah, it was a beauty of a goal. That was just lovely to see. And yeah, jumping a bit around here, but I visited Latvia between Lithuania and Netherlands, and the people from RFS were really happy about Markiev, especially the goal he scored against Ajax for them in Europa League, was it? And yeah, they were really ecstatic that he's doing well still. So yeah, that was really lovely to see.
What wasn't
Sorry, Mark. I was just going to say you took the words right out of my mouth when you said the reaction on Adam Mahiev's face after he scored. It was so refreshing to see a Finland player bursting with so much joy again. After the goal was an absolute blinder. The way he sort of curled it in.
So slowly as well. It was it's like slow motion,
like you said, floated. Curling floater into the top corner away from the keeper, and the way that he celebrated with the rest of them. I mean, the look on Robert Ivanov's face, you'd have thought he'd have scored it himself. He was so happy as well. But yeah, listen, it was great. And Adam Mahiev, we spoke about him quite a bit since he burst onto the scene, and he's one who sort of does play without a fear, the shirt doesn't seem to be a burden for him. He it seems to all come quite naturally to him. He's an aggressive player. He's got a bit of bite in there as well, which we've seen. But yeah, it was the smile on his face afterwards was a picture. So yeah, hang it in the Louvre.
Yeah, the only negative I suppose from the second half was that he got injured. And missed the following game. Any update you'll see on his injury? Is it nothing too serious?
I haven't heard anything, so I don't really know. I haven't really had a chance to follow up. I've been on the road pretty much all the time after that. So yeah,
you've been busy. These games were sort of 10 days ago and a week ago, but still, your work didn't finish when they came home.
Yeah.
So that was a 2-1 win, and positive, optimistic going into what we knew was going to be a difficult game against the Netherlands. We said, Keke, that in the home game in spring, we gifted Netherlands an early lead in the 6th minute, and we didn't want to do that again. And in this game, we held on until the 8th minute.
Yeah, I mean. We knew this was going to be tough. I mean, just to close on the Lithuania game, obviously it was great to see the lads march all the way around the pitch. We mentioned in the preview about the junior carre that the Palloliitto had sorted out down the down the other end of the stadium. And so the team wandered all the way around the pitch, and then obviously made their way up to the Pohjois-Kare and had a bit of a sing-song up there. So it was great to see those celebrations again that we've maybe not seen for a little while. But it wasn't to be in Netherlands away, unfortunately. But I mean, it was even before that 8th minute goal. There was signs of what the Netherlands were capable of. I mean, I think the first chance fell to Malen in something like the 3rd minute. With Jussi Hartikainen, who captained the side, making that save. Poor old Jussi. He had the honour of captaining the team out there in Netherlands and ended up picking the ball out of the net 4 times. But I don't think we can really fault Jussi Hartikainen. Do you know what I mean? He would be my first choice for that match. And I don't think we can lay any blame at his door. Really, it was just we were overrun by an absolute class football team. But I can run through the starting lineup if you like.
Well, do that, and then we'll maybe also talk a little bit about Jakob Friis, what he was saying before the game. Go.
Actually, I'd like to go back towards at the end of the Lithuania match.
Yeah.
Like the team came in front of Pohjois-Kare to celebrate, and that was really lovely. And the thing that struck me most standing there was that Joel Pohjanpalo, who led the chants for the team, he didn't use a megaphone. He didn't use a microphone, and everybody heard him. Everybody heard him. I didn't believe that he can be that loud. And that was really great to see and great to hear.
It was interesting because he had that little discussion with Thomas before they did the song. I don't know if maybe Thomas offered him the megaphone, but Jolle declined, and then he sort of went back, didn't he? Told everyone to shush, and then just went for it. But you're right. You'll see, it was brilliant. It was, and that's what, as a fan, that's what you want to see. I absolutely love the way that the players get involved with the fans. They obviously appreciate the support. Do you know what I mean? So it's great to see.
Definitely.
But okay, go on with the squad for Netherlands then.
I'll run through the starting lineup. So as we mentioned, we had Jussi Hartikainen in goal, who was captaining the side, and then we had. I guess this was another back 5 of Lattemäki, Ville Koski, Miro Tenho, Adam Stoll, and Nikolai Alho. Moving into the midfield, Topi Keskinen, Santeri Vannanen, Kai Kaarinen, Oliver Antman, and Leo Walter as a lone striker.
I think with this squad, like we talked before about maybe the Poland game, that it was like 4-5-1 and there was not enough opportunity to get forward. But even this, with Walter playing alone up front, you had Keskinen with the pace, and Antman as well, who could be in midfield but then break and try and support. So it felt like there was a bit more of a plan there to try and support the lone striker, but also to try and keep the numbers back when we were defending. And before the game, Jakob Friis said many times, we need something extraordinary to beat the Netherlands, which I think is fair enough. And we didn't get it. You said it just before that in the 3rd minute there was already a chance for Netherlands. In the first 7 minutes, Finland made 7 passes, 2 of which were successful passes. And when I read that stat, I turned to Satu and Topias here and just said, "This is going to be a long game." And a minute later, it was 1-0 with that goal from Marlon. He made a 1-2 with Memphis Depay on the edge of the box and shot, and Joronen got a hand to it, and he got a good hand to it. It was a bit disappointing that he didn't keep it out, but it sort of went in off his hand and up into the net for 1-0.
I mean, I can just put that down to the power of the shot, or you know, maybe the angle it was rising as he's attempted the save, and it's just pinged off the top. But listen, he got across to it and got a hand to it, but the power's taken it in, you know. So it was it was a shame. I mean, yeah, but we said in the preview, and like you said, Jakob Friis said we would need something extraordinary. Every single one of those Dutch players is playing at an absolutely top football club. Do you know what I mean? They're a class side. So yeah, I don't think we were expecting to come away with much. I mean, there was quite a few fans who travelled over. Jussi will tell us about how the atmosphere was in the ground, but yeah, on the TV, it was amazing to see. They panned the stadium. Obviously, everyone's clad in orange, and then our little section up on the top tier was just a sea of white and blue. So it was really nice to see it stand out like that. But yeah, 1-0 down after 7 minutes, and it wasn't too long before they doubled it.
No, this was on the 17th minute, a free kick on the right, met by. Well, I wrote in my notes a free header, but when I look back at the replay, Van Dijk goes through. He's on his own at the moment. He makes impact, but there are players falling everywhere. They're like skittles as everyone's running towards the goal.
I mean, it looks like Lahteenmäki slips, I think. I don't know if Van Dijk gives him a nudge or whatever, but it looks like he slips, and that's just enough for Van Dijk to get his nut on the ball and what is eventually pretty much a free header. But I mean, that free kick was 25 yards out or something. So for the whip on that to get that round, and but yeah, you know, if Lahteenmäki can stay on his feet, who knows? But yeah, he slips and Van Dijk heads home.
Yeah, and
there was a small nudge from the replays that I saw from Van Dijk there, but yeah, that's just part of the play there, and a bit of a slip there. So, but yeah, a bit unlucky, but Van Dijk is, well, he's top class. So yeah, he did what he had to do and he scored.
Yeah,
bad for us.
I think it was around this time that I saw in one WhatsApp group that there was a couple of young Kloppit guys from Seinäjoki in the stand, and somebody shared a photo taken from the TV of them in the stand, and I saw our friend Seppo there at the front of that picture. So I pinged a quick message to Lauri and said, "Hey, go and say hi to my friend Seppo." And 5 minutes later, received a nice selfie of Seppo and Lauri in the ground. So you know, if the football was a bit of a challenge, it was nice to see the Finnish Football Show network working there, and I love seeing a match day selfie from people connected to the show somehow meeting up at the ground. So a little bit of light relief there.
How was the atmosphere, Jussi?
Quite expectant before the start there, and when we saw the lineup, that was a disappointment for many people, I'd say, because there was no clear striker there. Leo Valta didn't come through to us that he would be a striker, so that was a disappointment there. And yeah, when the match started, really trying to push the support there, and well, it was quite loud there, but Dutch fans really aren't that loud, in all honesty.
Really?
Yeah, they're not.
Okay.
Not the national team fans aren't really that much there, and they want to do the Links jumping around and playing to the beat on the background, and then when they scored a couple of goals, that sort of killed the mood for a moment there. But then Thomas and Jere and other couples there and the Pohjois-Kare faithful there did a really good job at getting the party going, remembering that we're not here for the win, we're here for the support. And I'd say that despite the loss, it was a really good atmosphere in the stands there. There, of course, some people wanted to have a better result there, and well, most of the people, honestly, but still we had a good party there. It was fun to be there, and sort of reminded me of why I support Finland even away when we're losing, because it's really fun to be there in the stands.
Yeah.
Most football fans follow a team that doesn't win. It's
Yeah.
it's normal. Like there's so few actual competitions that any one team can win. So most of the time you're following a team to support your team and hoping, So it's kind of normal. What have I seen win over the years? I've seen SMJK win Veikkausliiga, great. That was 10 years ago. The Suomen Cup 9 years ago. And I saw Wimbledon win the FA Cup in 1988. I mean, that's it. That's all my teams have won. So I wouldn't be making a podcast about Finnish football for 10 years if I only wanted to follow winning teams. Well, it's not my life.
That for Finnish football.
Okay, but just for the record, Netherlands got their third. They hit the bar in the 35th minute with a header and then a follow-up shot that was blocked. But then 2 minutes after that, they won a penalty. Memphis Depay again had a shot. It was blocked by Tenho, but it was blocked by his hand. I mean,
I'm not sure what Miro Tenho was supposed to do there. Like he was sort of down in that sort of kneeling position. The shot comes in too quick. His hand is sort of, for those who are watching, his hand is sort of, it's up. It's not down by his side, but it's close to his body. It's not like he stuck his hand out to deflect the ball. It's, you know what I mean? I think that's I mean, fair enough. If it's up the other end, I'm looking for it. But 2-0 down already. Come on, ref, give us a break.
Find anyone who's not a referee that understands the handball rule anymore. I don't even bother trying.
The referees don't even understand it, do they?
Exactly. I don't believe that there's too many refs who understand it completely, who can say with 100% certainty that this is a clear rule. So yeah.
For me, that was a harsh penalty to be given. You know what I mean? But there we are.
Yeah, I have to agree. Seeing that from the away stand completely across the stadium, so yeah, I agree with Keke here. So, yeah,
exactly. But yeah, I mean, to be fair to the boy, he lines up Memphis Depay, wasn't it? He steps up to take a penalty. I guess he does Jordan with the eyes. Yes, it goes, and then he sort of stutters and waits and puts it in the opposite corner. So. Yeah, poor old Jesse's got done there, but and it was quite a sad one because he sort of rolled it into the opposite corner, didn't he? He wasn't blasted or anything, but yeah, 3-0 down just before half time. I mean, we before half time came, we had a couple of chances ourselves. I mean, Oliver Antman had that curled shot. Topi Keskinen had a shot which it looked like it had gone wide, but it was actually a deflection, and from the corner, Miro Tenho gets his own free header, but just nuts it over the bar. So, yeah, I mean, it's not like the scoreline tells the story, but it's not like it wasn't a complete backs to the wall drubbing. Do you know what I mean? We did have the odd chance, and against this Netherlands side, that's all you were going to get. So we have to take some hope that we did manage to create something. You know what I mean? Yeah,
it's true. It was 3-0 at half time, and we had more chances in the second half. There was a counter attack in the 54th minute. Ant-Man feeding Walter, who carried the ball to the edge of the box, but a bit of a tame shot.
Yeah, he shot straight at the goalie.
Yeah, nothing came of it. Netherlands had a goal disallowed for offside before 84th minute. Cody Gakpo, a great strike from the edge of the box, and it was in off the post and high up as well. No, that's exactly right. We didn't really see the extraordinary that Jakob Friis was telling us we needed, did we?
No, we didn't. I mean, after Gakpo's goal, we did have another chance. Benjamin Chellerman, who had been introduced, had a dig, but again, all of our shots seemed to go straight down the throat of the goalie. We weren't weren't sort of looking for the target. Really, it was we did all of our shots. We didn't seem to trouble the keeper, but yeah. And the other thing I noticed watching it again is like apart from that penalty that was rolled in, all of the two shots that they scored from were absolute rockets. I mean, the power on those shots was something else. Compared to our shots, our shots were maybe a bit lame. You know what I mean? I don't know if the lads need to get in the gym and do that one where you do the old thigh muscles. You know what I mean? But yeah, 4-0. It's a bit of a doing, but we put out a young side. Do you know what I mean? It's just got to take the lesson, I suppose.
Yeah, and that lesson we have to take into the upcoming games, one of which is a friendly, and as you can hear, I'm desperately scrabbling for the right page in front of me. So the first game is 14th of November. That is the World Cup qualifier. That's at home to Malta, and then a few days later, Finland against Andorra. That's in Tampere. That's a friendly game.
Yeah, I mean, so we should be beating Malta. Yeah, you got to beat Malta at home. So when we got to be looking to stick 3 past them to build a bit of confidence for these young players. Do you know what I mean? And that would leave us on 13 points, I believe. Poland are currently on 13 points, but they play. Who do they play? They've got the Netherlands and Malta. So, they're going to end up on at least 16 points. So, yeah, it is what it is, I suppose.
Yeah, and then I guess we have some more time before the next Nations League starts. Yeah. Is that autumn next year, the next Nations League? Or is it starting in the spring already? Is it springtime already? Yeah, okay.
I would think so. Springtime, but I honestly have to say I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But the draw for that is in December, so
probably quite soon. Yeah, it doesn't. It's relentless, isn't it? And I don't know if we've talked about it, but in September 2026, there's going to be like a 3-week international window. So they're not going to have three separate breaks. At least that first one's going to be a bigger international break, so that'll be quite interesting to see how that happens as well. It doesn't really
that's
help.
Something completely new, and that's definitely something worth discussing at some point, that how it's going to affect the national team qualifiers and competition games and moving on with that, because that's a big change for the future, and how that's going to affect every club as well. So, and what's going to happen with the international football then? So, but I haven't followed that. Unfortunately, I haven't followed that.
No, I haven't any more than just knowing it's coming. But we're getting to the important end of the Veikkausliiga, aren't we? So this is that will be quite a big break in those final stages of the Veikkausliiga. Hey, you'll see while we've got you. Tell us a little bit about your work with Football Supporters Europe, but also about this agreement between the SMJK and the Palloliitto that was signed in the last week.
Certainly. So, I work for Football Supporters Europe, which is a non-profit organization based in Germany, sort of like a RU in Finland, or
association,
association, and we work as a recognized supporters partner, like a supporter partner. We represent supporters for UEFA and European Council and authorities like that, and other stakeholders. And my job there, my title is National Team Fans Coordinator, and membership there also. But for this bit, it's National Team Fans Coordinator, and I work with national team fan groups and fans embassies, as we call them. Like England has a fans embassy, That's been around since 1990 or something like that, and Germany and many other countries. And some of the international national team supporters groups run a fans embassy alongside the active state stand support, and some fans embassies don't do active support work there as such. And I help fans get that they have the opportunity to support their team in the best way possible. So that's I liaise with UEFA, liaise with mostly UEFA fan relations team, and we work with UEFA on regulations, upcoming changes, see that we can affect anything there. That's an ongoing work and a long-term work there. And previously we worked with like club competitions more and like UEFA Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League and such. And yeah, I sort of talk with lots of football fans around Europe, and occasionally also get to travel with football. And for example, I was at the Euro 24 and Women's Euro 25 observing and making notes of matches that they go according to plan and like the services for supporters and say security and safety side of that, and make reports for UEFA on which stuff has been good, which could be improved, how would we make recommendations for the future, and so on. That's what I sort of do. And also nowadays I'm a bit helping our SLO team as well, supporters liaison officer team at FSC. So, and we give SLO trainings around Europe.
Nice.
And between the matches in Lithuania and Netherlands, I visited Latvia, and there we did a 2-day SLO training there. And with that training, I actually got to see the Latvia-Andorra match there, and tried to meet some Latvian national team supporters there. But well, there's something going on there, but let's say that it's a work in progress. So let's see how that goes in the future. And then after the Netherlands match, I traveled to Turkey for Georgia, and as we have members with the Georgian national team supporters, I went there to meet them and also to see the match there. And yeah, the pace for that match was both teams were there on the level of Netherlands against Finland, and that was and there was atmosphere. There was atmosphere.
Yeah, I bet.
The Turkish fans are well, that wasn't as much as at some matches in the Euros in 24, but yeah, they are loud. They are loud. Not so organized, but they are loud.
Yeah, nice.
And so, what was your role in this agreement between Palloliitto and SMJK?
Yeah, that was something that that has been in the works for 2-3 years, or maybe even more, from SMJK and Palloliitto side, and that's something that sort of got into the final rounds here because FSC and UEFA have been trying to get a pilot program on so that the National Supporters Organization and National Football Association would get a sort of like a memorandum of understanding going on between them, and sort of to formalize and make the cooperation between the two parties in a positive way more official, and to have some structure there and that kind of things. And time-wise, it happened that they were sort of looking for a pilot scheme here, and Finland happened to be there at the right time. So SMJK and Palloliitto got support from both FSC and UEFA for this. And in all honesty, that wasn't needed too much because we had a really good rapport going on even before this. But that was something there as a what you call it, back wall there behind you that you could lean on and get some support. SMJK got it from FSC, and UEFA gave some support for Palloliitto. And yeah, that's something that helped both sides. And it's something that was definitely a point for UEFA, that they wanted to get this done as well. So that was really good to see that this has happened now and this is done now. And sort of going into the cooperation agreement, as it's called, because there's not really a Finnish term for Memorandum of Understanding, which is that's what it's called in English. That was the way that it was described before. And it's basically only putting into writing the stuff that's been going on for the last 4 or 5 years at least, or even more time with SMJK and Palloliitto. But before this, it's sort of been more dependent on the people who are there, who are present there. So, but in the future, if somebody from SMJK leaves or somebody from Palloliitto leaves, from the Palloliitto event team, and some new people arrive there that don't want to sort of keep up the same level of cooperation, it's not that easy to break it, because there's something in writing there and there's some requirements for both sides. But in all honesty, it's the same stuff that's been happening for the past quite a lot of years already. So SMJK is still going to be independent, and if we want to do stuff in the stands, we can do it. And if we want to say, for example, that we believe that Palloliitto should boycott something, FIFA World Cup 26 in US, FIFA World Cup 30 in wherever it's going to be, then we can still do that, and we don't have to get the permission from Palloliitto for anything like that. And yeah, the support mechanisms have been put into writing, that at the moment we sort of we get spaces for making our tifo from Palloliitto, and they help us to set up the tifos in the stands before the matches and so on. And yeah, they help us with the capo stand and whatnot there, and that we can prepare the stands before the matches and so on. And yeah, going on, trying to continue as we have, keep the support strong, and keep the atmosphere positive, inclusive, and yeah, trying to make the Pohjois-Karjala welcoming for all. As
I think the
it
work
is,
of
but let's make it more so.
the work of SMJK over the years that I've been making this podcast, and in recent years getting closer and closer following Finland. I mean, I only get down once a year to watch a game, but just hearing from Keke, the organisation, the overseas trips, going on that trip to London last year and seeing that overseas thing in action, it's great. So, you know, thank you for everything you've done over the years, and the other guys at SMJK as well. I'm sure Keke particularly agrees with that.
Totally. I mean, I think just on the point, it's great that we have this agreement and memorandum of understanding. But you know, like you said, you see, we are quite lucky, because the relationship with our federation, our FA, is usually quite a good one. You know, I'm often on the show talking about Nulli and the work that he does when we're away from home, especially. He makes sure that we all get in safely, and you know, and that people are not pushing us around and I remember at the Women's Euro, when it was here in England, there was some people who expected our support to be a little less vociferous than it was, and Nulli was doing some really good work saying, listen, these guys are active supporters and that's their section, so so they're going to get on with it, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's you know, everybody, the SMJK has been going for a lot of years now, but people get older, other things come along, people have maybe not got the same energy that they had, and younger guys come along and pick up the mantle. So the fact that, you know, we're not 100% reliant on personal relationships that have been forged and agreements that have been done over a handshake or a nod and a wink. Now that we've actually got something, like you say, in writing to say that we can carry out our active support how we want to is great. It's a really good thing, and yeah, kudos to you yourself, Jussi, and everybody else, and all the guys at SMJK who have made it possible. So, thank you.
Kiitos.
We've
been part of that.
We've now just been joined by Sami Lindfors, our KTP fan, and now is probably a good time to switch over and have a look at what's been going on in the Veikkausliiga. Sami, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Now you promised that you were going to be croaky, and you certainly sound a bit croaky. I do hope that's honey and lemon that you're sipping on there for your sore throat.
Well, let's just say that maybe we don't want to have an advertisement what I'm drinking on.
Not unless they're sponsoring us, and nobody's sponsoring us, so we don't use any names.
Yeah, and who want Italian to sponsor us?
So let's jump straight in. You come here to talk about the Veikkausliiga. There's a reason you've got a sore throat, because KTP were involved right at the bottom of the table. Unfortunately for you, they've been involved in that part of the table for almost all of the season. But talk us through a little bit what happened yesterday. You had KTP, I think by the time the game started, Haka were bottom and you were second bottom, and you played each other in what was essentially loser goes down.
Yeah, it was winner takes all, or like well, for us, maybe the draw was also good, but the one who loses the all. It's maybe a good term for it.
And how was the game?
If you could draw in a lines that you can see the waves of the drama, you can feel it in that game. Like the first half, we were having a really good shots in the game, and we were like dominating on the situation. And then Haka got in, I think it was like in 30 minutes, they got a little bit ahead of us and got really good shots on that. And when the first half started, it still felt like, okay, yeah, we still have it. We still have this one. Actually, I met the club's the chairman of the club, and I talked with him, and he was like, yeah, I just can't watch this. I just cannot watch it. He was like really nervous on that situation, and I can understand it, because when you have such a big stakes under the game. But on the second half, it was still at the same, that we had a really good chances, and then Haga got that. Well, maybe I should not say, but it was a really great goal. Like he on the left side, it was Houston. Yeah, it was Houston who got free, and he got like a real like deadhead range to shoot on the left side corner, and he got it over there. But even then, it was like 15 minutes, yeah. But I was like thinking like, yeah, we can do it still. Like I really had the situation, because you could see that even if they had the goal, like Haka was really, really shaking on that. They were going really, really low on the block, and they just gave us, like, I have to be honest, like many of our like wing players, they were jogging to attack, and they could do it. So yeah, and as you can see it, then first became 1-1, which was, yeah, it was like you could not see it in our stand, because when the other side of the pitch, and you could not see it, you just see like what is happening over there, and the players are just going in there. Oh, it's a goal, and even and then I just remember I like just like get off my seat and just start running like around like our stands over there, and like and yeah, it was amazing, because you could feel it, like that the momentum we got it. Then it just was like, oh my God, 7 minutes after that, it was like, this was funny one. This was funny one. Like we always thought like, what is Vectrum doing? Like pass on there. And then later on in the interview, he said that Forsson said to him like, "Don't pass, don't pass, don't pass." And you can see it. There's like 4 Haka players. He's in the middle of 4 Haka players. There's only one way he can do it, and he can shot it right into the top right corner, and he did it. And that was like, it was magical. You could just feel it, and then you could just see it, and feel it. Like, yeah, we ain't going down this time straight. This ain't happening.
So that sets you up for, and we had our WhatsApp group with all our kind of contributors in there, and there was a lot of sympathy for Tuomas at Haka, and there was a lot of congratulations for you, but it ain't over yet, is it?
It ain't over yet, but you can feel that the momentum got from us. Thanks for the change for Ossi Virta. Like, he really simplified the game a lot. And he has a really, as he said in the interview, like in that he's only the person that shows the way, and the players are who are doing it. And he really believes on that, and he did it. He just said like, yeah, he just to Vextron, do what you want in the attack. Like, okay, and you can see the goal, a really goal of the season, you could say. But yeah, I really believe that we are going to win this one, because it's really rare that the one who's nearly getting relegated is having such a big form. And when you see the person who's going from Ykkönen/Ykkösliiga is going for the promotion is having such a slump. It's, yeah. I don't want to knock their best, but it's not really good when you are 3-0 up and you are drawing 3-3. Yeah, it's
in a game that if you win it, they could have maybe pushed for automatic promotion. But
in that game it wasn't anymore. But
okay,
it maybe would have given them a little bit of a leeway to like, okay, that we have a still chance to get promoted on that. But they have been like drawing and winning, I think 5 games now straight. So it's not really looking good for them right now.
And you've won 2 and drawn 1 of your last 3 games, and they're all against teams around you at the bottom. So it really helped. So you're feeling quite positive about this playoff.
Yeah, you could say that. Unfortunately, I'm working night shift, so I can't get to the Turku on Thursday. So
that's too bad.
a little bit of a downer. But on Sunday, I will make a quick trip to Kotka. We'll celebrate for an hour, then get a bus and get a night shift back.
Yeah. Okay. and you obviously you went to Veikkausliiga for the game yesterday on the bus. How was we want to talk about the football, but we also want to talk about the fan experience as well. So how was that bus on the way home?
Well, it was the first bus that we had the whole season. It's been really bit of a slump for us getting any big buses over there, and we got 50 person from us are coming over there. So yeah, we had a really nice atmosphere. Like people were really like, you could feel the positivity, which let's just say that the KTP supporter, you are mostly like, yeah, let's see what is happening over here. But when the trip went over that, you could feel the positivity over there. There's a lot of positive things. People were like shouting out, give us this, give us score, let's sing this, and some KTP songs or from one of the KTP supporter Molo Hazard's songs were coming from the radio, and you could hear that. Nice. Yeah, you should know what I'm talking about.
Molo Hazard is the best. One of the best supporter groups ever in Finland, at least. So
yeah.
If you don't know their songs, get to know them. They are really good.
Yeah.
Just for the record, so the bottom half of the Veikkausliiga was this final series was the Mestaruussarja, and I didn't notice that. I think in some of our earlier shows I was still calling it the Haastajasarja, but it's the Mestaruussarja. And the bottom 6 teams only played each team once, whereas the top half, the Mestaruussarja, the teams are playing each other home and away. So all teams on 27 points. Jaro finished in 7th with 34 points. Mariehamn in 8th with 32 points. VPS Vaasa 9th with 31 points. AC Oulu, who had an incredible end of season to pull themselves out of trouble, 27 points in 10th. KTP 11th, 21 points and into that playoff place, and Haka bottom on 17 points. So there was some clear daylight at the end. But Sami, thanks for coming and sharing your experience there. You can't quite relax, but you got one more week of nerves before you see what your 2026 season looks like.
Yeah, but let's just say this game was like the ultimate football game that has all the pressure on you. Even as a supporter, you have all the pressures, and when you get up from this hump, like then when you have 2 games to make the deciding situation over there. So I'm pretty comfortable that we are going to get through this one.
Okay,
And then
good.
we will have another talk next season for
Yes,
the
absolutely.
Veikkausliiga.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we will. Yeah, good luck with that.
Has Sami Joni Kauko coming into KTP? Has he made a big difference?
Yeah, I think he has on the more defensive side of the midfield. He has been a little bit of it, but you can also see him that the age is getting for him. You can see it on and the in Haka game that he made some contribution over there, but he also make mistakes. You could see that he was getting tired on the on the 17th minute. You could see that he made a little bit of mistakes over there, and then he got off from that. Like oh my god, like yeah, there were some situations I was still horrified on, even if we were winning or we were tied on that situation. But Joni Kauko, yeah, he has been given a little bit of more experience, and you can see in, especially when in tight spots when he's defending the ball, that you can see it like, yeah, this guy has a lot of experience for that.
Okay, let's have a look at the top of the table. I'm wearing my SMJK shirt today. Do you know what? This gold shirt, the only place you will see this is when I'm podcasting, because it's our second choice. It's our like change kit for this year, and SMJK have not worn it once. Not once. They wear white, which is the third kit, often, but never the gold shirt. And it was supposed to be worn in the away game against Haka, and the referee said, gold is too similar to white. You can't wear it. Oikeasti. So this
Can
is
I
like,
say something? Can I say something?
you can.
I do understand why the players don't want to put that on.
This is beautiful. I love this shirt. It's great gold, and you know, I was very excited when I heard about it. It looks great, is what you were
in
going
my
to say.
opinion, it looks the more it's nearly as ghastly as the golden Lamborghini I saw like this week.
Well, that's just rude. How do I get in? How do I kick him out of this thing? Oh,
it was like when I saw it, like what kind of person you are? You have a Lamborghini and you have painted on gold. Like oh my god.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me. What kind of person are you to wear a gold shirt?
Well,
yeah,
you'd have a gold Lamborghini.
Yeah,
No.
I can tell what kind of person you
No,
are.
I certainly don't have a gold Lamborghini. Anyway, I'm wearing my golden shirt proudly and happily, and I have seen at least 2 other people wearing them at the ground as well. So it's not just me. But I mean, what a day! What a day of football! The day we're recording this has been a full program for the Mestaruussarja as well. So Ilves lost 2-1 at home to Turku. While we were recording, the final result came through, which was KuPS 3, HJK 1. And the game that I watched earlier was, as you all know, because I peppered you all with score updates, and there were 7 goals. So you must have been sick of your phone pinging all match.
Nice commentary. Nice commentary.
Yeah, Gnistan 3, SMJK 4, and I mean, great game and far too nerve-wracking because they scored in like I think the 88th minute or 87th minute, and then the fourth official showed 6 minutes of injury time, and then it gets nervous again. But it was that was a cracking game of football, and we don't need to go into all the details, but to mention that Kasper Pannonen scored a couple more goals. He's had a few games without a goal, so it's good to see Kasper getting back among it, and is currently leading the top scoring chart for the Veikkausliiga with 16 goals, which is it's quite impressive. I think it's Sissoko. Is it Sissoko from Yarrow? He's on 14, but his season is now finished.
Yeah.
And then Ring and Pukki are on 13, and neither of them scored today, so we're still there. And worth mentioning that if you see the highlights, Kasper Pannonen has been scalped. All of his hair's gone because some of the SMJK boys are starting their military service, and I think it's a bit lighter than some young boys have to do their military service. But him and Markus Arsalo and Tuomas Koivisto have all been like sheep. They've been sheared. All this long hair has gone, and they've got something a bit more resembling this now. So if you're wondering, not quite, you see, not quite. So it's so. I think I was saying before we started recording how I think this format for the Veikkausliiga is right now. Like the bottom 5 teams probably don't want to play home and away and keep. And if they're having a tough season, you've got that 5 games to try and turn it around, and that's probably enough. And is the interest there among the fans of those teams that are sort of safely in 7th, 8th, 9th place? But at the top, playing home and away, the excitement's there, the interest is there, and every game matters. Where you see, Ilves dropping 3 points to Turku, and this 6-pointer cliche. The teams are they're just hacking at each other's legs, and not literally, but at the points, like hacking away at the points that the other teams can get, and it's a real battle. Jules and I talked about this in the SMJK podcast last week about what do we want for the other teams, and Stevie listens and gives me a little running commentary. I know he's listening because he'll start answering things that we've talked about in the pod, and he's like, "Yeah, we'd like all the other teams to draw because that's the least amount of points going to other teams." I was like, "Well, that kind of makes sense." And what happened today? 3 wins, so it didn't go to at all. Keke, I know you don't get to see much of the Veikkausliiga, but Jussi or Sami, what have you seen or felt about what's going on?
Hold on, listen. I keep a little eye on the Veikkausliiga, but also a little bit further down the leagues. JJK had a 5-0 win today.
They did have a 5-0 win. I saw that. Yeah, congratulations to Brian and his boys.
There we are.
And just shout out to MP for making it to Ykkösliiga. They are there for the next season.
Yeah, that is true.
Forward to having Mikkeli there. And also, I was yesterday in Puotila for Valtti EBK, the second promotion match of the third Kolmonen, or the 5th tier to 4th tier. And EBK lost 1-0-1, but they went up. So EBK is in Kakkonen for the next season.
Okay, what did you do? I asked the question, what do people think about the Veikkausliiga, and you started this.
We all tumbled down the leagues.
That's where the interest is.
Well, and actually, I think we talked about maybe doing a kind of lower leagues special. Get some fans, because we've got some fans in our network from some of these lower clubs. Get them to come on and actually talk about what's going on there, and maybe Keke, I'll see if I can get Brian Page to come on and talk about what's going on at JJK as well.
Lovely.
Yeah,
sorry though, but yeah, Veikkausliiga, listen, it's been super exciting. I'm so pleased for Ilves and Inter Turku being up there challenging. I will admit to being a bit gutted that JJK couldn't put up a bit more of a fight against Kups today, but it's they've been a bit lackluster all year, haven't they, HJK? But yeah, it's been one of the more exciting seasons. It's been really fantastic.
Sami or Jussi, any comments about what you've been seeing going on at the top?
Yeah, I actually have to agree with Keke here that partially it's probably due to the fact that no team has really had the sort of a clear upper hand over anybody. It's been really tight, really competitive, and really interesting to watch. And yeah, it's at the moment the system of the matches is the system of the series is good. I like it as well.
Yeah.
Like Mark said before, it's good, but we need to see that at some point in the future if it's going to be the best. But at the moment, I'm liking this a lot, and especially with all the cross-playing teams losing to other teams and winning others, and going there and Gnistan keeping up the fight, and they haven't given up. They are just there to put a spike in everybody's tires and get them to go flat before they can finish on top. And I'm sort of hoping that I don't remember who is Gnistan playing cups anymore, but if it would be great if they won cups at the last match or something like that, and that would be just beautiful. But I don't.
They're
know
coming
if
to
it's gonna happen.
Seinäjoki for the very last game, but they played Cups on Thursday the 30th. So they've still got. We've all still got 5 games left. So basically,
Yeah, that's
everyone
true.
is still playing everyone.
Yes.
It's just great. It's really, really great. It's going to be cold by the time the season ends, but it's whoever wins it has really, really won it this year because everyone's fighting up there.
Yeah, I have to disagree. I have to agree on everybody on that situation. Like it's been a really interesting when we think about it. If I remember correctly, before Mestaruussarja started, was it like Inter was in the top of the league? If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now we can see that they're just going a little bit up, and then they're going a little bit down, and so you can see that there's been as they said, a little bit of cross playing between us, and yeah, it's been a really interesting season on the top area. On the bottom, well, I'm a little bit of old school. I really wanted to have the same amount games, and
Right. Okay.
yeah, so I really think that I understand why the changes was because there were a couple of seasons where when you were like in the as they say in the jumbo position, many times like they were not playing anything for the past 4 games. So I understand that. I do understand that the change for that, but I really hope that someday they will also have the same amount of games. But it's really but then it also means that Ykkösliiga should be extended because then the person who's getting promoted, they would need to wait certain amount of time for that. So yeah, we have just had to wait and see for that.
That's an interesting point, actually, that it's not just about what happens in the Veikkausliiga, but trying to line it up with what's happening
Yeah.
underneath as well. Yeah.
Yeah, they need to add teams over there, maybe also that, and then a little bit do thinking over there. But yeah, you can see it in the top 6. You can see it's really working. Nobody is not as well. Shout out to Jon, as everyone know from our group. And like we were talking with him, and that he was really thinking that before start of the Mestaruussarja, like, yeah, I don't know what is happening. Like, well, maybe we go to watch the games, and there's no anything for that, but you can still see, okay, they are really lining up and trying to chase maybe a medal for that. So yeah, and there's been a lot of interesting players has been in. There's not just 1, 2 players or 1, 2, 3 players, like 4 players from HJK or like 2, 3 players from Coops. There's been a certain like a lot of players from different teams that have made goals and have made a lot of big contributions for the team. So it's not only a one-man show being this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're currently so actually Kups and Ilves have played 28 games and all the others have played 27. So Those other two have got 4 games left, and the rest have got 5. But
yeah, KuPS will play on is it Wednesday they will play their first Euro game, if I remember.
yeah, that's right. That's all starting, and that's what made the whole scheduling thing really complicated as well, wasn't it? It was international breaks and KuPS in Europe and things like that. So at the top is KuPS with 28 games and 57 points. Inter a second, 27 points and 27 games and 53 points. Third is Ilves, played 28, 53 points. Fourth is SMJK, played 27, 51 points. Fifth, HJK, 27 and 47 points. And sixth is Gnistan, played 27 and 31 points. And Gnistan have, I mean, they've won 1 game in this Mestaruussarja so far, but that was away at HJK, which was massive for the rest of the table. Ilves beat them 3-2. SMJK beat them 4-3. Like they're not giving up, and they played well today. And I truly will be supporting them against every other team they play, apart from us on the last game of the season.
That's it.
So keep fighting down there in Olankula. We're and I suspect that the fans of all the other teams are also saying the same thing as well. So does anybody have anything particular they want to add to this today? We've been hanging on for a while. Keke's always got something, breaking news or something he wants to drop in.
Not quite breaking
Probably
news.
Probably about the Lithuania game that we were discussing an hour ago.
No. It's just one of the legends of Finnish football hung up his boots yesterday. Jyväskylä local Eero Markkanen, who you will remember he has played for some clubs, like, honestly, smashed a load of goals in at JJK when he was a young lad. He had a little spell at HJK before being picked up by AIK in Stockholm. I don't know if you haven't seen it, search out the YouTube video of him scoring in the Stockholm derby against Djurgården, which is an absolute unbelievable smasher of a goal. Got that well-publicised move to Real Madrid Castilla, signed by Zinedine Zidane for that team. Not sure if he looks back on that time too fondly. Who knows? We could only ask him. But yeah, Eero, he's been an absolute hero. One of the first player interviews we did on the Finnish Football Show. So yeah, he was. I remember he was away with the national team, and that was like weirdly done over a WhatsApp call that we had a tape recorder in the background. So
listen to the days before Zoom when video meetings were easy.
That's it. So I just wanted to mention Eero. He was at Gnistan for a season or so. Spent the last couple of years at PK 35. So he's called it a day. He's finally hung up his boots. His less talented brother Lauri is still playing some sport somewhere, I think. But yeah, cheers, kiitos, Eero.
Yeah. Less talented at football.
I'm looking forward to seeing Eero back in Harjunpojat.
Yeah, where he started. He was. There's lots of pictures of him when he was in the stands with the Harjunpojat. So yeah, I'm sure he'll be back.
Very good. Jussi, thanks for joining us today and sharing a little bit about what you're up to in Finnish football. It's always good to see your face on the pod from time to time. So thanks for coming back.
No worries. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
And Sami, I don't want to add to your nerves, but we would like to have you back on the pod next season. So have a word with your players and make sure they understand. He's looking calm. He's holding his hands up and they're steady. But thanks for joining us today, Sami.
Thank you so much.
And Keke, as ever, it's good to see you.
Kiitos, samoin.
And listener, thanks for listening until the next episode of the Finnish Football Show. Goodbye.
You've been listening to the Finnish Football Show. You can find us online at finishfootballshow.com. Remember to subscribe to the show wherever you're listening or watching. You can follow the Finnish Football Show page and group on Facebook and also on Instagram. Escape to Suomi on Twitter is now Finnish Football Show on X. And you will find us on Blue Sky at Finnish Football Pod. See the links in the episode description, along with the links to the Finnish Football Show merch.